Bookie Beatdown coming at you. Paul, Cody, UFC 323 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Second last card of the year. And then there's like a 6-week break. We break down so much MMA, the two of us, regionals, everything like that. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm like, there's going to be some ragtag, like Division 2 Belgian promotion that the books are going to post odds for because there ain't nothing else going on. So I'll end up taping something like that over the next 6 weeks. I will stay busy, but it's good to get in touch, to get in touch with family. I'm going back to Ontario, probably get to meet up with Cody at some point. He's a busy man with his family and everything like that, but I'm going to be in there for 3 weeks, visiting family, doing all that type of stuff. So looking forward to the holidays. We've got 2 more cards in the books here. Anything before we get going here, Codes?
No, man, I'm gonna miss it. Like you said, there's gonna be some random LFA or Tough Enough or Cage Warriors or Octagon or ACA or EFC Africa. There'll be something happening. And of course, we're going to indulge on that. But if you're not watching MMA, let's be realistic. You're sitting there being like, why am I watching the Hawaii Bowl? It's just, that's what you do. You find some random bowl game to watch. You find some random other sport to watch, something to keep your time occupied. So yeah, UFC 23, this is a mega loaded card, tons of good fights, 14 of them. And yeah, who doesn't want to cap off the year and go into the holiday season with a little bit of extra money in their pocket? So let's just figure out who's going to blow it for us this week, Paul. And thankfully for us, 1, FBI's watching, so less fixes than you'd hope. And 2, yeah, they're all named guys. So who's looking to take the dive for $70,000? Who owes Steve will do it? A new house? I'm not sure. But I think on this card, we can trust a lot of them.
The one thing, the little Christmas gift I will give to you early. You can open this one early. It's like one of those advent calendars or whatever. December 3rd. You can open up this tip from Shag. All of these people on social media that will say that they've got the hot tip for the Hawaiian Bowl or something like that. 95% of them have no idea. They're just degenerates gambling. Most people, from my experience of just tailing random people on the internet, have been losers on that type of stuff. So, be careful. Be careful. It's still money at the end of the day. It's better in your pocket than in the book. So that brings us to the main event of UFC 323. I mean, what a stellar card top to bottom. I can't wait to break this one down with you. We got Merab Dvalishvili taking on Petr Yan. Merab, a minus 415 favorite to come back on Yan. Plus 315. Obviously, we already saw this fight. When Merab got the title? Was that the title? No, it was a 3-round fight. Or no, wait, my bad. Yeah,
it was not a title fight. Yeah,
it was not a title fight. 5 rounds. Merab was like a plus 200 underdog in that spot. 11 takedowns, 147 significant strikes. Merab does what Merab does, and frankly, this is like such a lame kind of breakdown, I suppose, from me. But it's like until I'm gonna just keep putting money on Merab, having Merab in parlays, everything like that. Every single time they give us like relatively playable numbers, like he was an underdog against Cousin Umar. Even when he's a favorite, it's just like he's minus 300, everything like that. And it's just like, and then he goes out and absolutely dominates. Like he's still kind of underrated. He is in line for this fight to be the first active champion to defend his belt 4 times in 1 calendar year. So King Merab, pound for pound king, as far as I'm concerned, in the sport of MMA right now. Beat everybody, and he's fighting 4 times a year. He's the man.
You know what? I do agree with you in the sense that, like, skill for skill, I'd like to say that he's pound for pound the guy. But like to me, and this might not mean anything, but to me, pound for pound is like, I went up a weight class. I went to a different weight class and I had success. So these guys like Islam Makhachev that goes up, well, that means something to me. Even John Jones, who I'm not the biggest fan of, at least he went up. And George St. Pierre late in his career, but he went up. And Daniel Cormier wins at a light heavyweight and then he goes up. Those guys to me are kind of like the great fighters. If Merab was to go to 145 pounds and do what he's been doing to everybody and do that to Alexander Volkanovski, Buddy,
possible.
I'm in on that.
It's possible that I think he could do it.
It's totally possible. So why are you fighting Petr Yan again? Why are you fighting Corey Sandhagen? I'm not discrediting it, but it's just like you're saying. He should be 7-1 favorites in these fights, and yet Dana talks smack about Merab. People apparently don't overly care for Merab, that he's got a bettable line against Sean O'Malley in a rematch. Smokes him the first time, and they give you a bettable line the second time. He finishes him the second time. This is to the same thing, okay? But talking to a lot of people that are saying, well, Petr Yan, he's just very talented. He's got a striking edge, and he's made for these 5-round fights, and it'll be a close fight. He'll win a few rounds here and there. Well, I mean, he didn't win a single round the last time they fought. He got 50-45 across the board on all 3 judges' scorecards. On top of that, he got taken down 11 times. Sure, he got 11 takedowns on like 49 attempts. This guy just sticks to you. What he does, who the heck knows, man? 49 takedown attempts in 25 minutes. I don't think that has ever been done before, other than Merab. And how does he follow it up? He takes down an Olympic gold medalist, Henry Cejudo, down 5 times. And then he takes O'Malley down 6 times. And then Umar down 7 times. And even that last fight with Corey Sandhagen, 20 takedowns. It's unbelievable. So what do? Yeah, you either just take this guy by decision every single time. And I know what people are saying. Well, he choked out Sean O'Malley. Nah, he's a lot like Floyd Mayweather to me right now. Is that you could bet Floyd Mayweather by decision every single time. Paul, you and I used to do this. This is our move. And like the odd time he sucker punches Victor Ortiz and knocks him out. Okay, it happened the odd time. But the other 8 times it cashed. Well, and that's kind of Merab, man. It's him versus Sandhagen, Umar, Sean O'Malley the first time, Henry Cejudo, Petr Yan, Jose Aldo. He mostly takes you down 30 times and holds you down. Not hold you down, but gets back up, and it's a mat return, and there's a scramble, and then he punches you twice, and he takes you down again. It's highly entertaining, as far as I'm concerned. But generally, he's going through the motions of just winning rounds and winning more of the rounds and beating you by decision, making you work. Petr Yan's very, very difficult to put away. We've seen the fight already. It went 5 rounds. I would say that Merab's submission game, I don't believe is good enough to submit Petr Yan. His knockout power, I really don't think he's going to knock out Petr Yan. Therefore, he's just going to run him through rinse and repeat again and again and again and pick up that decision. Yan, flip side to that, is Yan, since they last fought, he's only fought 3 times. Because Merab's fought like 6 times. Beyond that, though, he lost a round on all 3 scorecards to Song Yadong. He lost a round to Marcus McGee on all 3 judges' scorecards. Like, that didn't happen to Merab. Feel like he is a cut above, and for Petr Yan, he's a slow starter. He usually gives away the first round, and then he downloads information. He starts to find his rhythm, and then he starts to open up with these 3, 4, 5 strike combinations. Very nice, very fluid. Well, here's the thing with Merab. 1, giving him a round, letting him bank 1, that's never a good idea. 2, as you download this information, it doesn't matter. He takes you down. 3, even if you finally got a read on him, you can only throw 1 or 2s against him. As you open up with a 3, 4, 5, as you open up, now you're definitely getting taken down. So, yeah, listen, everyone's got a puncher's chance. And I've seen Merab get wobbled. We've seen Marlon Moraes hurt him. I've seen Jose Aldo buzz him a little bit. But they don't knock him out. He gets right back up and he gets back to business. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Merab Dvalishvili by decision. That's the play for me.
Yeah. I mean, his decision prop is like minus 300. When his money line's like minus 400. If you're in that type of situation, I'm probably just eating the money line.
Fair.
If you have these plus 210s over here, minus 210s, minus 250s, then maybe it's worth your while. But for me, if it was a minus 300 by decision or just to take the money line, I'm just paying the juice and taking the money line on Merab there. I mean, what is the solution for Merab? Like, who you're going to need anything punchy, kicky. Obviously, someone could land an absolute nuke, knock him out. Like, that's always in play. Otherwise, it's like somebody with just insane jiu-jitsu ability, I feel like. But it doesn't seem to be anybody in the bantamweight division.
No, but if he went to 45, it's like right off the hop. Could he do to Movsar Evloev with this wrestling? I don't know. And Diego Lopez with the jiu-jitsu, could he take him down and hang out on top of him for periods of time? I don't know. Alexander Volkanovski, just an absolute tank of a man on 145. Difficult to take down, difficult to hold down, difficult to strike with. Those are all really interesting fights. Then you think about the interesting fights for him at 135. There isn't any. There's not. And so when you talk about, I don't know, his legacy in pound for pound, who cares? He's getting paid. He's having a good old time, and he gets to compete 4 times in one single year and take no damage. So what he's doing, who can fault that? But if he was looking for a legacy thing, if he was looking for, I want to be known as the greatest ever, the move to 45 and the fights that could be very intriguing over there, winning a few of those, I think would really cement his status. Ilia Topuria, it's not like I'm the biggest Ilia Topuria guy. Then he moves up a weight class and starts knocking people out there too. What more do you want from him? Who knocks out Max Holloway? Nobody, but he does. Who knocks out Alexander Volkanovski? Makachev did once. He was up a weight class as a kick to the head, but Topuria does. Who knocks out Charles? Quite a few people. But to move up a weight class and do it, still super impressive, man. So, I mean, like that to me is how you get into those pound for pound discussions. But Merab, as a fan, this is my guy. And until he does me dirty, I'm just going to continue to ride the Merab Dvalishvili train.
Co-main event, flyweight titles on the line. Alexandre Pantoja takes on Joshua Vam. Minus 225 for the champion, Alexandre Pantoja. The comeback on Vam plus 190, plus 200-ish, maybe at the top of market. Another fight that's probably very, very, cut and dry in terms of like what people are gonna come out here and do. Like if this fight, if Pantoja can't get takedowns on Van, he's got great durability, he's got some good striking, don't get me wrong, but like the fluidity, the speed of the striking, probably not particularly close between the two of these. I know that every single time we come on here, you always talk about Pantoja and you think he's a bit of a gasser and so on and so forth, but it's like he always looks tired. I don't know if he's all that tired. Like he kind of has like really, really bad body language, but like somehow still manages to like gut it out, get those takedowns late in fights and secure rounds. Like he did against Steve Erceg. I suppose this is the flyweight division. Anything can happen. I really just don't know if Josh Van's takedown defense has been tested to this level, and Alexandre Pantoja by sub. I feel like vet lesson is incoming here. What are your thoughts on the co-main event?
Yeah, I'm kind of inside my own head on this one because on one hand, and yeah, we'll break down all the fights on this card, obviously, but when you look at underdogs and which underdogs likely have the best chance of cashing for a good price, I feel like Josh Van is one of them. This is a flyweight fight, as you mentioned. Expect the unexpected. Here's a guy that's extremely young. He's built for 5-round fights. We've not seen him in 5-round fights, but the fact that he's also a very slow starter, and the longer these fights go, he just starts to build up. He's capable of landing hundreds of significant strikes. He outpaced Brandon Royval, which is something that quite literally nobody does. And that's a 3-round fight, and he lands 200 significant strikes. Now he's got 2 additional rounds to work with. And so when you look at a 35-year-old Pantoja, 35 is considered old in a lot of weight classes, but at flyweight, it's like pretty well unheard of that you'd be at 35 years old and still the top of your game. He's fighting 2 guys in there. He's fighting Josh Van, but he's also fighting Father Time. One of them beats him. That's the end, right? You see it all the time. It's like a champion is great, and he's got these accolades, and he's got these attributes, and just the longer time goes, a young, hungry challenger is going to come and snipe you off. So when I think about, well, does Josh Van have a path to victory? Absolutely he does. He's a better striker. He's got better volume. He's got better pace. He's just got to keep this fight standing. So it's easy to talk yourself into a Josh Van bet. And then on the other side of it, it's like, well, how does he keep this thing standing, right? He's given up takedowns to Bruno Silva. Ray Cerrulla took him down 4 times. Cody Durden took him down twice. Felipe Bunez took him down twice and won the first round against him. When you consider that, it's like, well, Pantoja will also take him down. The difference between Pantoja and, say, Felipe Bunez and Cody Durden is that when he takes you down, he'll probably take your back. And once he takes your back, you're not going anywhere. And of course, you'll remember this because you tried to talk some sense into me, but I took Kai Kara France last time out against Pantoja. And believe me, there's no puncher's chance in that fight. There's no plus money to be had at flyweight in that fight. There's no Pantoja's looking old and barely beat Steve Erceg in that fight. Bro, once he takes you down, takes your back, and puts that body triangle in, where are you going to go? So yeah, now you're back on Pantoja. Anyways, it's easy flip-flop back and forth, but there was an interview yesterday from Josh Van I didn't particularly love, where he's talking about people criticizing him getting the title fight because he's so young. And it was basically, what am I supposed to do? Just sit around a few more years until I'm actually ready? Like, I may as well fight. It's like, Do you not deep down believe you're ready right now? What's this wait around a few more years until you're ready? Are you not ready to beat Pantoja? Are you not ready to beat a world champion right now? But it seemed to me like, yeah, I'm down to fight. I'm down to fight all the time. But he now has also, this is his 4th fight in 2025. So he's not a champion like Merab, but the kid just fights all of the time. He fought 3 times last year. This is his 4th fight of 2025. And because the takedown defense isn't great, when you're constantly going camp to camp, I don't really know that he's had a whole lot of time to just plan for one guy, get ready for one thing, work on excessively his ground game and his, he's absorbed, put it this way, he's absorbed over 300 significant strikes this year alone.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of damage, man. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot of, you're probably not at 100% as much as you're from Myanmar and your people know what the grind's all about. They're down to fight all the time. They do Lethwei, Burmese bare knuckle boxing. These people are down with the fight. And so, yeah, he's getting one hell of a payday to jump in and fight for the world title. But is he not ready? Is he maybe a little bit green? Does he maybe have to lose a few more times to go back to the drawing board and figure out what works and what doesn't? Not entirely sure, but I want to take Pantoja, but Paul, I'll be honest with you, this minus 250, it scared me right off of it. So I'm stuck on a Joshua Van PRP pick or a Joshua Van Value Boys pick, but I feel like similar to Pantoja versus Kai Car-France, I'm just gonna look like an idiot at the end of it when my guy lands no shots, gets his back taken, and it inevitably gets caught in a rear naked choke. So what can I do?
Yeah, I took some early week. It was like Monday. I took a little bit of Pantoja by sub. It was plus 200 at the book. So, kind of after the fact telling that I've got CLV. Nobody likes that on a podcast. I will say that. But I mean, even the plus 150 is like 40% of the time. I mean, I think it's his most likely path to victory. I think it's what he's going to chase, whether he gets it or not. It's already plus 115 at Bet Online. So it's going to go off at evens. I mean, if you have the plus 150s, I think it's worth your while. There will be no 2 plus 200s left on market. I can guarantee that.
If the fight starts and Pantoja shoots a takedown and gets it, I'm not going to be feeling good. But there are 4 more rounds and there are scrambles and you could get the guy tired and there's time to operate. If the fight starts and Pantoja shoots a takedown and it gets stuffed, I'm money. I just want a bunch of money, baby. So, yeah, this thing could go in my favor. This could go in Van's favor, but his takedown defense will likely have to be on point. And
you're going to know pretty early.
You're gonna know very early, but again with Pantoja in that Ursig fight, it's like early he's doing good. Then these middle rounds, and then he pulls it off late because of a Steve Ursig bonehead decision in the 5th. But honestly, that one's easy to point back to. Like, you see, what people don't realize is Steve Ursig is huge. This guy's gigantic, man. Whereas Van's not. So holding down a much larger man, constantly having to shoot. But he take down Ursig 9 times. Like that's extremely taxing. In his fights with Kai Asakura or his last fight with Kai Car-France, guys that are his size, it's like, yeah, even at 35, Pantoja's a physical guy. He spent time at Fight Ready MMA in the lab. Now he's at American Top Team. He's got some of the greatest training partners. He's putting together, putting on these really good game plans together and going out and executing. So yeah, exactly. Trains with Kyoji. So, and I know they may fight, and I know he got called out, but the bottom line is if you're Pantoja and you get to work with a guy like Kyoji, and how does Kyoji compare to Josh Van? Well, geez, he's been everywhere. He's done everything. He's a 45-fight veteran. He's the man. He really is the number 1 contender in my eyes. Van's the number 1 contender who's available at this very moment. And Josh Van at a 4-ounce fight club in Texas, who does he got that can emulate Alexandre Pantoja? Nobody. So, training does count for something, but I'd like that Van's like 10 years younger, 11 years younger. He's much younger than Pantoja. He's faster. He's more explosive. He's got a big striking edge. Really does come down to your ability to stuff takedowns. And in 2025, the realization is takedown defense is the one thing that guys are getting a lot better at. Suddenly, the real Russians will still take you down every time, but some of these fake ass Segit Russians, goddamn Segit, what the hell? Can't even take down a 42-year-old once drunk Nicholas Dalby. So takedown defense, man, goes a long way. If you can stuff the Russians takedown, make them work. In this case, guy's not Russian, but with that ground game, they might as well be. You gotta hope for the best. Listen, I'm not huge on Van. I could see that. I could see this thing blowing up in my face. The plus money is too much to turn away from. And again, it is going to be all the way at the bottom. 14 fights, the most 14th confident pick, all the way at the bottom PRP. I'm just going to slot Van, plug my nose, and hope for the best, Paul.
We've got, we're on opposite sides in the co-main event. We've got Tatsuro Taira taking on Brandon Moreno. Taira, minus 125 favorite to come back on the former champion, Brandon Moreno, plus 105. Who we got?
Yeah, I go with Brandon Moreno. I think it's like super slight plus money, basically a pick 'em. But yeah, with Taira, this is kind of the same as the last fight with Pantoja, right? You got a 25-year-old up and coming hot prospect taking on what's supposed to be the aging guy of the division. But Moreno at 31, I still do think he's got some good attributes to him. Mostly just that just scrambles. Doesn't really accept position on the ground. He's never been finished in a professional fight. He's got 3 fights against Pantoja, an exhibition on the Ultimate Fighter. Then he fought into a decision loss cleanly. And then his last time out, he lost a split decision, which I thought he won. His other loss is another split decision. And that's the thing with Moreno. Royval and Pantoja have beat him on splits. Outside of that, he'd be on a 6-fight winning streak. His fights with Davidson Figueiredo, arguments that he won those too. Some of them he did actually win, but I mean the ones that he lost, or the ones that you come up and you don't get the hand raised at the end of it. It's like Moreno kind of encompasses a real mixed martial artist. He can do everything. Sometimes his head's not in the game. Sometimes he's not fully motivated, but when he's healthy and he's eager, the guy's really does got skills everywhere. This fight with Tatsuro Taira, no doubt about it, he's got a striking advantage. And I think he's got an experience advantage, and he's got a durability advantage, a cardio advantage, he's got all those advantages. One thing he's got to mind his P's and Q's on, getting taken down and getting his back taken.
Mm-hmm.
And with Taira, as much as you can marvel with this kid's doing a lot of good things, he's not a refined product quite yet. You go back to his fight with Edgar Chairez. Edgar Chairez drops him in the first round and gives him everything he can handle in the third round, if we're being honest with you. And then the Alex Perez fight, he loses the first round. Second round, takes Perez's back. Perez blows his knee out. The very next fight against Brandon Royval, he got takedowns, but it's the scrambles. With the takedowns, he's not getting the back. With the back, he's not getting the control time. Therefore, Royval's getting up, and Royval's outpacing him. And that's the key to beating him. Tatsuro Taira's right hand, it's got some decent pop on it. And you can tell he's working on his fundamentals. You can tell he's working on his striking. 5 years from now, this guy will maybe be like a Brandon Moreno, where he can do it all. But right now, he seems to be live or die with his ability to hit a quick right hand, get the takedown, move to the back, grab that body triangle, look for a neck crank, look for a face crank, look for a rear naked choke, and just try to get you out of there. With Moreno, it's like knocking him down, hurting him. He's got Mexican durability. Choking him out, again, no one's done it as a pro. He's fought all the best guys in the game. He's fought in not better grapplers, but he's fought in the likes of Pantoja. He's fought in the likes of Amir Albazi. Nobody's really just taking him down and stapling him down to the ground. You really got to work. And I think that if you take him down, you don't secure the back, he gets back up. He hits you with a quick little combination. He's been working these leg kicks, the low calf kicks a lot. Suddenly you're standing there demobilized, not getting takedowns, overreaching. He's just going to slowly outwork you. Brandon Moreno is one of these guys that you can trust will fight for your dollar, and that's all I'm asking for. So I'll take the assassin baby, Brandon Moreno.
Total agreement. I mean, even like Taira, like people were like lining up to fade Taira against this Haisung Park. Not us. We were on Taira in that fight, but there were a lot of people out there, and like Park was like actually pretty. He's like plus 170 or something there. Like the market was not giving Taira all that much respect, and the sub prop was like paid off pretty handsomely considering it's a Taira fight against a very unproven guy in Haisung Park. But yeah, other fights, like when he's went to the top of the tier, and frankly, the only fight that he's really went to the top tier of the division was Brandon Royval, and that's the fight that he lost. He got tripled up in significant strikes. It was a 5-round fight, 3 rounds. Maybe there is a world where the fact that this is, I believe, is 3 rounds.
A 3-round fight.
There is a world where 3 rounds is like, well, if he gets that takedown, he gets the back, right? Holds the back for 1 round. Well, then you've already got 1 round back. Like 5-round fight, I would absolutely love Brandon Moreno. I can see a world where Taira edges out 2 of 3 rounds here with grappling control, everything like that. But no, Brandon Moreno likely by decision is also my pick here. We got Payton Talbott taking on Henry Cejudo. Big R word on this one, Cody. Retirement fight. Henry Cejudo, I saw, went on some sort of network podcast, whatever, and said that this is it. He's hanging it up after this fight. So credit to Henry for taking on some of the new breed of fighters. The fact that it's his retirement fight makes me a little bit nervous about this. My initial thought here is like, if I could trust Henry Cejudo to come out here and make this a wrestling match, I'd be all about Henry Cejudo at like plus 215. The problem is like, you don't really want to do that anymore. He doesn't come into fights really with like that wrestling, that Olympic wrestling singlet on, and like really stick to a wrestling game plan in any of his most recent fights, which is kind of frustrating. Because of what happened in the Raoni Barcelos fights and the holes that Payton Talbott showed in that aspect of his game, I'm gonna really struggle to back Talbott at minus 255. For me, it's a dog or pass situation. I'm probably gonna cower it out and not click Henry Cejudo's name this week, but tempted to. If I had any idea that he was actually gonna go out there and wrestle, I'd feel good about it, but I think he's just going to go out there and try to strike when he's giving up crazy amounts of reach, everything like that, because it's his last one, probably bonus hunting. Like, I don't know. The path is there for Henry. I just don't think Henry's going to take it. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, that's actually exact same thing. Henry at one time was on top of the world, right? He's a flyweight champ. He moves up to bantamweight. He wins that title. He's going to be into this pound for pound great conversation. And then he says, nope, I want a crazy sum of money or I'm not fighting. And the UFC's like, oh man, yeah, bad move to pull because we actually don't pay the light guys nothing. And you've got no drawing power as far as we're concerned. So goodbye. Since he's come back, he's not won. In fact, he's not won a fight in going on 6 years. So, yeah, it's not been great. But to his defense, dude, look who he's fighting. But it's just like Paul says, and this is my exact thoughts on it, exactly the same. When he fought Aljamain Sterling, he comes back. It's a 3-year-long layoff. He got 3 takedowns, right? Impressive enough. He got 3 takedowns on 8 attempts. Tried to take him down. Got some of them. Fights Merab Dvalishvili right after that. Only got 1 takedown. But he got 1 takedown on 7 attempts. He's trying. Mm-hmm. Hard to take down Sterling. Hard to take down Merab. Now you got Song Yadong. He only shot 3, got none of them. That was a fight where Song Yadong, although he can't wrestle, don't get me wrong, far less of a wrestler than Aljamain Sterling and Merab.
And there's the eye poke and all of that. So
there's the eye poke, and he won a round, and then he got, and then he lost a round, and then he got poked, and then Jason Herzog was like, "Shit, I took some money. I can't have this end in no contest." So he starts the round and then immediately stops the round so he can go to the scorecards. And I don't know. Honestly, it was a super sketchy one for sure. But when I watched that fight, Henry just didn't really seem like he wanted to wrestle. It didn't really seem like he wanted to dig deep and go for it. You dig back to these best career fights of his, Marlon Moraes is beating him up. And then Marlon Moraes gets tired. Dominic Cruz has got 4 blown out knees. And I know that sounds funny, but he had blown out his knees collectively 4 times. You catch him at the end. TJ Dillashaw, that was TJ's first and only fight at 125. It was a terrible weight cut. The Demetrius Johnson fight, he didn't win that fight. I don't know why. That's the big one that made him the champ. It's like he did not beat Demetrius Johnson as far as I'm concerned. And then it's a run. TJ's retired. Marlon Moraes is retired. Dominic Cruz is retired. You take 3 years off, and now you're trying to jump into this new pool. You're not fighting at 125 anymore because you can't. Your body won't allow you to make the cut no more. So you do it at 135 and you're short, and that power, it's not translating. All of a sudden, you've not knocked anybody out since 2019. So puncher's chance, sorry, that's a lie. You knocked out Cruz in 2020, but you've not knocked out anybody in a while. The wrestling, even if you do get the takedown, is Henry the kind of guy to hold you down for 8 minutes, 10 minutes of a fight? Not really. And so, yeah, I think he's more of a Henry the entertainer. And with Payton, he's just so long and he's sniping out from the outside. People can say, well, Raoni Barcelos out-wrestled. The difference there is that Raoni Barcelos shot 15 takedown attempts. Mm-hmm. It's not that Raoni's a better wrestler than Henry. He's not. He's more willing. His body's more, he's an old guy too, don't get me wrong, but his body's more fresh. He's a dog on a bone. He's going to go and pursue these to his fullest, whereas Henry's okay with striking a bit and then shooting a takedown. I feel like maybe Payton's just too long. Clearly, he's working on his skills as well, spending a lot of time on his grappling game with Frank Ocean. his wrestling clearly looked a lot better his last time out against Felipe Lima. And it's just a case of you lose to Rowney, you're everybody's baby, loses to Rowney Barcelos, everybody writes him off, comes back against Lima plus money. What a nice hit that was. And goes out there and takes care of business. So he's young. He's definitely a talented prospect. He's working on all aspects of his game, but his striking is not, he's a big power guy or he's going to load up on a big punch. It's like he's very accurate. He's sniping you from the outside. This is going to cause Henry to get stifled. I want to step into the pocket. I want to hit this guy with an overhand right and then shoot, but he's not there. He's got excellent footwork. He's fast. He's reactive. Now I got to cut the ring off and be hyper aggressive, pin him up against the cage, take him down. But that exerts a lot of energy. And I just don't know that this version of Henry is going to do that. So it's all the same points that Paul said. If Henry showed up wearing a singlet and his gold medal and said, I'm going to do this for American wrestling and watch what I'm going to do, USA wrestling. Whoa, I might be inclined to be like, dude, if you promise me you'll shoot 15 takedowns and you will just absolutely stick on this guy's hips. Did you watch Makhachev? Did you watch Valentina Shevchenko? Did you watch how the best and the best do it? If you do that, he's got a real shot here. I just don't think he's going to do that. It's not really who he is. And I don't think his body and his knees are allowing him to stick to this kind of pressure, wrestling heavy game plan anymore. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Payton Talbott wins this fight as well.
Yeah. Wrestling with Frank Ocean's one of the best bases for MMA, I've heard.
Well, we'll see come Saturday night, Paul.
Just ask Michael Morales.
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael Morales.
See how that guy's hips don't lie.
No, you're right, dude. There's some definite hip thrust exercises that are going on in that training room, and it's working. So who am I to talk shit? It is working, Paul Shaughnessy.
100%. All right, we got Jan Blachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov. Jan is about a minus 130-ish favorite. Comeback on Guskov. Plus 110, we got Jan's historical durability, chin, slow, super, super slow. Do you trust his chin? Because I feel like this is a very, very winnable fight. If you trust his chin to hold up against Guskov, who pretty much wins all of his fights by knockouts, wrestling probably gets negated in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Jan's able to grapple him a little bit. I expect these guys to stand the pocket and kind of trade, and I'm going to lean on the old warhorse, minus 130, Jan Blachowicz, for that chin to hold up and him just to kind of, show Guskov that even though he's old, there's still levels to this. Where are you at?
Yeah, well, exact same thing. So he's 42 years old and he's so old. It's like, yeah, he's Nicholas Dalby 42. Hey, one of these guys that just is in good shape. He stays in good shape. He's a consummate professional. And, it's like I am worried a little bit about his chin. Last fight, he fights Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, if you've got any type of chin problem, Ulberg's going to tell you about it real fast. And, dude, he almost beats Carlos Ulberg. It's one hell of a fight. His fight right prior to that, he fights Alex Pereira. I mean, if you've got any type of chin issues, this ain't going to be good. Man, he almost beats Alex Pereira. Yeah. Fight before that, he fights Magomed Ankalaev. If you've got chin issues, great guy to fight because he's not knocking out anybody. But but he fights him to a draw. Like a guy that was recently a world champion, he fights to a draw. A guy that is the current world champion, he loses a contentious split to. And against the guy that's probably going to fight for the next world championship, it's a unanimous, but it's a really close fight. Jan is something special, man. He just knows how to keep in. You can go back to the Glover fight. He gets submitted. He's got a neck injury in that fight. Almost certain. He gets neck cranked in it and then just opens up his guard and allows things to unfold. I'm sure at 42, his body's not mint. I'm sure, the miles are starting to rack up. But again, Jan, Polish power, someone that generally comes in shape, gives you the best version of himself. Whatever that version is, he gives you it is all. He's got good striking. He got nasty body kick. He's got legitimate power. Like Paul said, he's slow. I agree. He's very slow, a little bit flat-footed, a little bit plodding. But one of these guys that just plods a little bit closer, lands something. BJJ black belt, good grappling. You go back to his fights with Alex Pereira or say his fight with Israel Adesanya, who's moving up a weight class. But when this guy gets you down, I mean, he's very capable of racking up solid control time, threatening with submissions, not giving you any space to operate with. Kind of does it all, right? When you look at Bogdan Guskov, it's no disrespect. I like Bogdan, but against Zach Pauga, he's getting outstruck, right? He's getting outlanded 17-10, and then Pauga, who's a bum, walks into a right hand. Against Billy Alicante took him down, took his back, probably won the first round. Billy Alacan's not good, so he beats him. Nikita Krylov is last time out. Nikita Krylov kind of damaged goods at this point. All these wins are all by finish, and they look good. I don't want to discredit them. They're all nice looking wins. But the bottom line is like these guys aren't Ulberg, these guys aren't Pereira, these guys aren't Magman Ankalaev. Like there's a giant class jump here, I believe. I feel like Jan Blachowicz is just operating at a higher level. When you look back to that Volkan Oezdemir fight, which I understand it's Guskov's debut, and I understand he did get hit and he got knocked down. But Volkan subbed him. Volkan not subbing anybody.
Sub. That's why I'm scrolling through right now. I'm like, that's gotta be Volkan's only win by submission.
I didn't even know Volkan knew how to rear naked choke somebody. So in my mind, I'm like, hey, Jan can hurt you standing, right? Jan can outwork you. Jan can take you down and choke you out. It's on the table. And listen, I got Jan Blachowicz, Polish power. Let's do it.
What's Jan by sub? You know me. I want more.
Well, if you can
pretty generous. Plus 765.
765. Yeah. Ryan Spann almost had him in a
Only
choke.
Human.
Billy Alicante had him was on his back for a period of time. I think Jan, especially if it's like if you find this guy's a little too fast, take him down. This is the great way to neutralize people and take them to your pace. So yeah, I'm in.
All right, these next two fights, you're either gonna look real smart or real stupid. There is really no ways. There is no ways around it. They're very, very similar types of stylistic fights, I would say, to some degree. First off, though, we got Grant Dawson taking on Manuel Torres. Dawson's about minus 220 favorite to come back on Torres, plus 185. Torres, kind of a first round knockout machine. We've seen, Grant Dawson dropped by a jab against King Green. We've seen him rocked in some other fights. Overall, I think he's a much more technical, much smarter, much more analytical fighter. If he gets to the hips and gets the takedown immediately, Torres probably isn't getting up. And maybe even Grant Dawson gets a submission early in the fight. But if that doesn't even, just getting that takedown, getting top control, haven't really seen too much from Manuel Torres to lead me to believe that he's going to get back up. But if he eats an absolute nuke, he's getting completely folded. It'll be the same when we talk about McKinney versus Duncan. That it's just like these are the kind of volatile fighters that you're betting on or betting against. This is a very volatile part of the card. I'm going to say that Grant Dawson avoids getting absolutely nuked, absolutely getting his head knocked off, gets those takedowns, uses his superior grappling control, training conditions, even on top of that. Like he's training at American Top Team with some of the best guys in the world. It's knockout or bust for Torres. So give me Dawson, but a little hesitant, of course. It is, it's always a cop-out to say, like, live bet this thing. Like, you can't really say that because it's like, well, what if Grant Dawson gets a takedown immediately? Well, that minus 220 is gone. It's minus 500 pretty much immediately. So,
Dawson is the Torres lands. You can't bet it because the fight's over.
Exactly. Dawson is the pick for me. Dawson by smother, lay and pray, and maybe finds himself some sort of submission as the fight unfolds. Where are you at with this one?
Yeah, in the exact same boat, to be honest with you. Grant Dawson's not a dumb guy. And again, he's another one of these training at American Top Teams. And Alexandre, not that he's a training partner with Pantoja, but we'll talk about Chris Duncan as well. All of these guys are in grappling heavy fights, or what figured to be grappling heavy fights. And the word at American Top Team is that's what the entire training camp has been. Grant Dawson got stiffed by a Bobby Green jab. This is not lost on him. It's not lost on us. It's not lost on anybody that break down Grant Dawson fights. Potentially, this guy's got a bad chin. I mean, he got whiffed by Bobby Green on a jab as a giant favorite. But the bottom line is that, yeah, since then, he just goes right to his wrestling over and over and over and over again. He racks up long periods of control time. You don't have an opportunity to punch him in the face. His control, his just ability to smother opponents, rack up multiple takedowns, it's kind of second to none. His last time against Carlos Diego Ferreira. Carlos Diego Ferreira is a third-degree BJJ black belt. 6 takedowns on him. The ones that are more impressive, though, is like the 3 takedowns over Damir Ismagulov. 12 and a half minutes of control time. Damir got taken down by Sarukian 7 times and only gave up 8 minutes of control time. He just kept getting up, right? Against Grant Dawson, he could not get any space. People that know Ismagulov know he's the man. He fought Mark Madsen. Mark Madsen wrestled at the Olympics. He's a bronze medalist. He wrestled him in that fight as well. Grant Dawson's wrestling is top-notch. It's high level. If he wants to stand and trade with you, might not go good. If he goes to his wheelhouse, which is get the early takedowns, start to suffocate this opponent, drag him into deeper waters, neutralize him, steal his soul, and that's what's going to work out. And I feel like that's the approach against Manuel Torres. Yeah, listen, you can just watch tape on him. The guy is a banger. He's absolutely someone that's got big power and ability to hit you. He's opportunistic. He can choke you out as well if he grabs the neck. He's very big. He's very strong. But I mean, Colton Englund, Frank Camacho, Nicholas Moda, the Duncan one aged well. His last fight with Drew Dober really didn't age well. Drew Dober's at the end of the line. Yes, he's got power. It's fighting. Some of these guys got some natural raw power. Yes, he's got some size. Yes, he could potentially hit Grant Dawson, but he gets taken down early. This is going to be one-way traffic. And it's easy to say, well, if he gets hit, he's going to get knocked out. I get that, but we see this every week. People are saying JDM will knock out Islam Makhachev. Or people are saying that Sean O'Malley will knock out Merab in the rematch. You want to see it happen. Everybody wants to see the striker land that one shot. And then as soon as that wrestler gets that first takedown, that's the end of the fight. That's the rest of it. Very few times you see a guy lose the first 3 rounds. He's down 3-0 and he hits the guy in the 4th and puts him over. This is a 3-round fight. You know, you win the first 2 rounds and then you knock him out in the 3rd round. Although it's all possible, although you've seen it before, becomes less and less likely. Dawson's not looking to give you an opportunity to fight back into this fight. Dawson's not looking to touch gloves and set up some strikes, feel your power a little bit, try to land a few leg kicks. No, he's looking to take you down, control you. And I feel like that's going to work wonders here. So the money line looks too good to be true, considering Grant Dawson's on a nice little streak here. Yes, Bobby Green beat him. Outside of that, he's 11-1-1 in the UFC. This guy's a top contender as far as I'm concerned. Manuel Torres is a banger who fights once a year and is possible of finishing you in the first round. His last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, his last 6 fights are all done in the first round. So what happens if he gets taken down in that first round? He's forced to carry Grant Dawson's weight for 5 minutes. Now we're in a second round. Is this guy even going to still be there? Is he even still be with it? I don't know, man. To me, this is a Grant Dawson play. If I get knocked out, I get stiffed, I lose my money. Whatever. It's on me. I get it. But I feel like this is a good style clash. And I'm going to take some, what does he call himself? KGB Grant Dawson? KGD. My bad. KGD Grant Dawson. Sign me out.
What does D stand for?
And I never really understood. I assume Dawson, but I don't know what the K is. Grant Dawson, what I imagine is the GD. Does he have, maybe his first name is not actually Grant? Maybe his name's Kevin or something. Let me click. What's his first name? His first
KGD,
name.
King Green destroyed me. we need an M.
Yeah, well, his name's actually Grant Michael Dawson, so I don't know. I don't know. Killer Grant Dawson.
He's a very smart guy. He's a very smart, well-spoken guy too. Like
I like him, to be honest.
He's a good fella.
University of Nebraska Lincoln. I like that school too, man. Hard, rough-nosed wrestlers.
Credit where credit's due. Manuel Torres did submit Chris Duncan, who's in the next fight. He's taking on Terrance McKinney. Duncan, a -150 favorite. The comeback on Terrance, +130. There's been a bunch of fights I have been chasing. I've been chasing Chris Duncan's chin that he had shown in the Borshev fight. And some knockdowns in some other fights.
Charlie Campbell almost had him out of there.
Yeah. I've been chasing that and eating crow on all of them. Is this the fight that it happens against Terrance? I mean, on top of that Manuel Torres getting a rear naked choke in round 1 kind of doesn't lean very well into what Terrance McKinney's going to probably go out there and do, is give you 1000% energy for about 3 minutes. If you can survive 3 minutes against Terrance, you have a pretty good chance. So I'm torn again here. I'm gonna go with the Terrance McKinney side, but I will say with the caveat of, I feel like a Duncan round 2 prop at like plus 450, plus 600s out there. I feel like those are nice little caveat in this fight. It's like if this fight, if he gets taken down, if he gets his back taken, and this fight gets out of round 1. Obviously, live betting Duncan would be the move. Until Terrance McKinney shows us he can fight more than 5 minutes, you got to attack it this way. Something is more of like a gut feeling than anything else, Cody. I feel like Terrance McKinney is bright lights under. I'm going to actually start Chris Duncan. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to actually go with Chris Duncan in this spot. He's got more ways to win. Like, McKinney can win if he finishes you in the first 3 minutes. That's it. That's his win condition. He's just going to bull rush you. Whereas I feel like his chin's not very good. He got knocked out by, bomb theme is a flying knee, but even that Esteban Ribovic's fight, 37 seconds, clips him at the top of the head, done. Right? Ribovics has got 6 other fights in the UFC. All 6 of them have gone to decision. The other 5 all gone to decision. His submission defense not that good. His durability is not that good. He comes out, fired out of a cannon, and goes really hard. So with Duncan's got enough power to knock out McKinney. Duncan's got this tricky little guillotine choke that if McKinney just blasts doubles into it wild and reckless, he could get caught. If McKinney is smashing on him but doesn't necessarily get that finish in the first 3 minutes, Duncan's got a cardio advantage. And so I just feel like overall there's more ways for Chris Duncan to potentially win this fight. The other thing is that he's an American top team, right? So the word on the wire, according to him, according to people that are at ATT, is like his coaches got him with Renato Moicano and Grant Dawson and all the best grapplers that they have. And all of his rounds start with them on his back. That's been the entire training. Is that they start, okay, he's on your back. Okay, now the round starts. Go. 5 minutes. Go. And you're fighting out of this. They know McKinney shooting. They know McKinney's best position is his back. And they know you need to just fight hands, trap the arm, stay sound, stay composed, stay okay for 3 minutes, and then buddy is done. Once that second round starts, if we get into a second round, done. If he doesn't choke you in the first 3 minutes, you can scramble, you can get back up, done. If you can force this guy to stand with you, done. They got, again, just more passive victory, I believe. The other thing with Terrance McKinney, this may shock you, right? Terrance McKinney has never scored a performance bonus in his UFC career.
What?
Yeah, never once. I don't know. Look it up. He's never scored a performance bonus at any point in his career. And so when you're beating Eric Gonzalez and Mike Breeden and Brandon Marat and Damir Hadzovic, well, bottom line is it's not that impressive. Not impressive enough to give you any money for it. So now you're getting a Chris Duncan that it's like he may pose some pushback. And if he poses some pushback, it's not as easy running through him as it was Marat or Damir Hadzovic. Well, then all of a sudden you're going to see what happens to McKinney when he takes on someone who's a fringe 25 contender. And that's they ended up surviving the first 3 minute onslaught and then they put him away. He's capable of beating anybody the way he fights. Sure, I get it. He's very, very, very volatile, very hot, very quick. I got to go with the guy that's going to be a little more consistent over the long run. And that's definitely Chris Duncan. So that's my play there.
All right. Well, I was trying to look that up while you were talking, but
I could continue to talk, but yeah, I mean, it's a very surprising stat.
I can't believe they didn't just gift him one for knocking out Mike Breeden or something like that.
Well, to me, the ones that deserved it is he knocked out Favola in 7 seconds.
He deserved it on that.
Yeah, and Faraz Ziam. I rock with Faraz Ziam. That's my guy. And then on those two as well, Borishev his last time out, that's still a pretty okay little feather in your cap, right? But it's like, yeah, man, we've matched you very, very soft. And I know Tapology's got this cool little feature now. They'll show you where the guys are ranked. Well, it's like Borishev's the 52nd best guy in the weight class. Hadzovic's not ranked. Marat's not ranked. Breeden's number 86 at the time. Gonzalez's number 79. When he fought Ziam was 66. When he fought Favola was 50. So anytime that he's stepped up that's when he's getting smashed on. And I'm not saying Duncan's some great world challenger himself, but his last time out against Matus Rebecki, I faded him. Everybody knows that. I went pretty hard on Rebecki. And even though Rebecki had tons of moments, Duncan showed me way more dog than I gave him credit for. That fight with Jordan Vucinic, supposed to be a hotly touted Cage Warriors champion, turned out to be a bum. But all the same, his fight with Blachowicz, these guys aren't bad, man. Blachowicz, Jordan Vucinic, Matus Rebecki, you're fighting guys with the pulse. McKinney really not doing that. Flip side of that, Duncan's got 2 bonuses. He got a bonus for choking out Oki and a bonus for fight of the night against Matus Rebecki. He can choke you out and get a bonus. He can go to a 15-minute war and get a bonus.
Sounds racist, really.
Is that where I'm going with that? Okay, well, I
not you racist. The UFC being racist, not giving Terrance.
UFC. Okay, yeah. Wow, what the hell? The
Frivola second knockout, like. What else do you want?
What else do you want?
Like that, that making your UFC debut, coming out doing that. I remember when I did that, it's like the under 1.5 was like minus 150 or something like that. The last thing I will say, and it's chalked to absolute bits, but until it stops hitting, like I'm still going to parlay the under 1.5 at like minus 340 because, we parlay money lines for people to win in fights. Like the real life number for that under 1.5 in a McKinney fight,
it's true.
To hit is probably more like minus 600, minus 700. Like it may be even more. It could be minus 1,000. We don't know because it literally just over and over and over hits. People try to talk themselves into an over 1.5. Don't do it. You either bet the under or you pass. That's until you're proven wrong, until it stops happening, you just keep taking it. The books are going to continue to get. Now, I think that will probably be minus 500 by fight day, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'll be adding that to parlays because it's McKinney fight week. You parlay the under 1.5, yeah, that's it. Moving on down, we've got Maycee Barber taking on Karine Silva. Maycee Barber is the favorite at minus 190 to come back on Silva plus 165. Your thoughts on this one?
Honestly, I would take Barber, but what do you know about Barber? She's been dealing with mental problems and health problems, and she's doing crystal therapy nowadays, which seems weird, but it helped Jared Cannonier, so maybe there's something to it. I just don't really know. But what I can say is, and not only that, Paul's going to bring this up, so I might as well get in front of it. She lost to Roxanne Modafferi, man. She's been a real disappointment basically her entire career. And when I say that, not her entire career, but she loses to Roxanne. It was a really bad look, but she hurt her knee. Okay. Then she lost that fight 100% to Miranda Maverick, but they gifted her the robbery of the century. And then it just became, she got out wrestled by Andrea Lee, barely won a split decision in a fight that she could have lost. Lost the first round against Amanda Hebus before coming in, turning it on in the second with the elbow. And then, of course, that last time out where she's supposed to fight and then she has a panic attack and she's got some type of heart issue. And apparently she's got this new boyfriend that's been ruining her career. It's a lot of narrative. It's a lot of noise. But I don't like it because Maycee Barber used to just talk a lot of smack all the time. I'm going to be the youngest champion ever, younger than John Jones, number one. I'm best prospect in the world. Leaves her coaches. Gym jumps. Oh, this gym's not helping me. Leaves the gym. Jumps to another one. Leaves the gym. Jumps to another one. This is a basket case. The thing is that with Karine Silva, the first few fights in the UFC, they all look awesome, right? The last few, I'm not sold. Against Viviane Arroyo, she couldn't take her down. She got out muscled, and then she doesn't have enough volume striking. She really needs to shoot these takedowns and grab a hold of something. I loaded up on her against Dion Barbosa the last time out. Jesus, what a squeaker. It's a unanimous, and I thought we won, but the internet was very upset. And they're not wrong. Dion outstruck her. Dion out-grappled her. The only reason that Karine was able to get the win is that she grabbed that guillotine choke. She grabbed the darts really fast. So what? You grab someone's neck. Was their face red? Did they have their hand out like they're about to tap? Did you use it to pass him out and smash him with 2 elbows? No, she just kind of lashed onto her neck, didn't sub her, but it visually looked good enough to get the decision. I thought she looked flat her last time out against Dion. Like she looked flat against Viviane Arroyo. Against big, strong fighters that can stuff the takedown and keep it standing, she starts to really look real rudimentary. The thing with Barber is, as much as she does have faults, and it's not like I can't say she's big and strong. She's the same height. In fact, Karine's got a 2-inch reach advantage. But Barber really is kind of rugged, like especially when she turns on, finds her pace, and starts to land those inside elbows and really come forward. And my mind tells me that she's going to be able to keep this fight standing and then just land the bigger shots, back up Karine Silva and win this fight. But realistically, I don't have enough faith in where Barber's at mentally or physically. And if Karine takes her down, we've seen this time and time again. Once she gets taken down, she kind of looks out of her depth. Whereas Karine's got excellent submissions, solid enough wrestling that she can make this thing look easy. It's women's MMA. I can't figure out one way or another which way it's going to go. The line's currently 170 Barber, correct?
Minus 190.
I feel like it's automatic. You have to take Karine. And not that I wouldn't bet Barber, but at 2-1, at minus 190 Maycee Barber, I want to take her. I think she wins. At 2-1, it's just I'm walking into a bad
sounding like a whole bunch of narrative of things that aren't actually quantifiable coming from you there.
When was the last time she fought? March 2024. It's been a year and a half since she's fought last.
She pulled out of the Blanchfield fight on fight night, and there seemed to be some sort of issue going on there. The nuts and bolts of this fight all point towards Barber doubling, tripling up on significant strikes. The amount of power being exchanged in the striking exchanges between the two of these girls aren't particularly close whatsoever. And she's never been subbed. She went out there against Jillian Robertson, great grappler, wasn't even really close, knocked her out in the first round. Grasso, former champion. Close, competitive, was able to get 3 takedowns there. And
Random Maverick grappled her. Montana De La Rosa took her down. Jessica I took her down. Andrea Lee took her down. In fact, if you want to be real about it, her last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Her last 6 opponents have all taken her down at least one time. So she gets taken down by Karine Silva. What's the guarantee she's getting back up? What's the guarantee she's not going to just be held down? Again, I can see her winning, but at 2-1, it's CF dot model for me, dude. I understand favorites have been doing well. Like I get it, but I feel like Karine's all the way at the bottom as the 13th most confident play.
13th most confident play because Van is below.
Van is below Karine. Yes.
Okay. No, I'm gonna watch interviews and stuff like that this week. Maybe I'll see something, but I don't know. I just don't. I see one that actually has like a full complete game right now, and we're humming and hawing about whether she's got a bad boyfriend or what's wrong in her camp. Is she not but it's just like when she does go out there and perform, she absolutely bullies girls. I don't think Silva's fought anybody who could actually like bully her like this. It's Barber. Barber is the son.
Andrea Lee's known for not being able to wrestle. That's kind of Andrea Lee's thing. In fact, the way to beat Andrea Lee is everybody just takes her down. And yet she took her down 5 times and was making it look good. I will just leave you with this. People at home, you're free. Watch the weigh-ins. Watch all that. Check the social media. And then scroll back. Go to Barber when Barber was fighting. Wow. All of her posts are, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Jesus, God, Christianity, got my back. Now she's ditched it. It's all crystals, the power of the crystals. She's gone to the dark side, Paul. Maybe that will help her. I don't know. But 2-1, I can't find myself pushing that number. It was minus 170 a couple days ago. I was like, yeah, but now
it's only moved like
20 points.
It's moved like 10, 15 points.
Yeah, but then you're gonna see her on the scales with those fakies, and she's got nice fakies, and then you're gonna
people are gonna listen to you, and she'll go minus 150, and then that's when your boy Paul Shag will hop on the train here.
Well, we shall. I would take a shoey bet on it, but it's not like I have any.
I'm not passionate. I'm not nearly passionate enough about this one.
It's not.
I'll give you a 2-1 shoey on Van.
2-1 shoey on Van.
Yeah,
I don't know because he's my.
You were less confident.
Most confident guy. Yeah. Okay, let's see these other ones. Maybe we have some dissension on something else we both like a little bit more, and we'll circle back.
I don't even have booze in my house. Usually, when we do these shoeys, I end up having to go buy liquor to do it. I just don't drink too often anymore. Anyway, moving on down, we got Fares Ziam taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Ziam minus 133 favorite comeback on Sadykhov plus 113. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like at first glance, Fares Ziam, he's my guy. Clearly, the guy's tall. He's got nasty French Muay Thai, and his grappling is his biggest deficiency. But similar to Nasruddin Imavov, similar to Cyril Gane, similar to I don't know, Francis Ngannou's, those guys that have MMA Fight Factory Paris, the takedown defense, the wrestling, it's all improving a lot. I mean, he's got Taylor Lapilus, again, another guy who's known for really good cast iron takedown defense. And I feel like once that catches up for him, then Siam's just going to be not a total package. He's going to be a top 5 guy, but his striking's really good. His durability is phenomenal. His pace, his cardio, it's really, can he keep these fights standing? Matt Frivola has a significant wrestling advantage on him for sure. And so to see him out wrestle Matt Frivola, extremely impressive. And he knocks him out in the 3rd round of a fight that he's absolutely beaten on him. That was a nice one. The next one with Mike Davis. At first glance, it looks awesome. He stuffs Mike Davis's takedowns. He out wrestles and outlasts Mike Davis. This is quality. The thing is, this is another one of those FBI Cash Patel should be investigating Paintgate. They painted the locker room right before these guys used it, and a number of them reported feeling ill and then all lost their fights.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I don't know. But Mike Davis did not look like himself. He's pulling guard. What's going on here? And so it makes me think it's like, okay, clearly his wrestling and his grappling is getting better. We know this. But how much better is it getting? Because Nazim Sadykhov is he's a generalist. He's well-rounded everywhere. His striking is explosive. He's got that ability that he could mix in some wrestling. Of course, he trained at Matt Serra and Ray Longo's for a long time. He was a training partner of Aljamain Sterling and Merab Dvalishvili. He's traveled with them to Las Vegas and now trains over there. No doubt about it that this guy can kind of do everything. My issue is that he loses pretty well chunks of every fight he's in. Evan Elder had him down 2-0. A cut saves him in the 3rd, but he's down 2-0 in that fight otherwise. Terrance McKinney won the 1st round, and then McKinney in the 2nd round does that. Borshev won 2 of the 3 rounds, but a 10-8 in the 2nd got him a draw. Ishmael Bonfim had him doubled up on the significant strikes. 10 seconds left in the round, he bombs him with one. Bonfim goes to his corner, tells the doctor he can't see, they wave it off. Nicholas Mata scored a knockdown on him. He comes back and he beats him. This guy's a dog. This guy's got heart. This guy's going to go out there and give it his damnedest. He's got natural power, but he's prone to sometimes get outworked, and I don't think his wrestling's all that good. Took Borshev down 4 times, and that's it. Everybody else, his wrestling's not really been one of his weapons, and Borshev is one of the easier guys to take down. So here against Fares Ziam, if you do not take him down, and that's infinitely possible that you're not going to be able to take him down, you're forced to strike, and not like, Sadykhov's going to be upset in that type of situation, but Ziam's 6'1". He's very long. He throws very tricky techniques. By the numbers, Sadykhov's got way more volume. Sadykhov could double him up, but Ziam's he's very technically sound. He doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He's not looking to brawl. It's mostly just sniping you off from distance one at a time. As you try to crash forward, he may try to get a hold of you and try to take you down, but kind of a fight that I could see going both ways. I think both guys could have tons of opportunities, tons of moments. For me, I just feel like Ziam's the guy that's making a little more progress in his overall career, that you see an improved version of him fight to fight, whereas Sadykhov it's who he is. He's capable of capitalizing on one small mistake, now fighting a guy that doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. And so that's how I ended up going with it. Ziam he got finished by Terrance McKinney. And I think that's the only time he'd ever been finished, right?
Yep.
So he has good durability, and he's never been knocked down in a fight. Sadykhov kind of relies on landing that one big shot, hurting you with that one big shot. If you don't hurt this guy, feel like he's going to put in the better overall body of work, but not super confident about it. But the play for me is actually Fares Ziam.
And what? Ziam is 30?
28.
28. That was in 2000. So it's 3 years ago. He's put in a whole nice body of work since then. Even getting taken down by Claudio Puella 7 times, who was a good grappler in his own right, but was never in trouble whatsoever in that fight. Was able to get back to his feet. So he's obviously put in the reps for that grappling. And offensively, pretty solid as well. Yeah, it's Ziam for me, and it kind of comes down to the same intangibles as well, with just the length, reach, probably making it more of an ugly fight than what Nazim Sadykhov wants. But
Yeah, 6-inch reach advantage helps in a big cage for sure.
100%. All right, we got Marvin Vittori taking on Bruno Ferreira. Marv is pretty much a straight pick 'em here. Marv minus 115, Ferreira minus 105. Are we trusting Marv? I mean, the guy could barely figure out how to put on like his fight shorts that one time. Became a bit of a meme. The guy's not the smartest, the smartest dude in the room, but he's super durable, very, very well-rounded generalist. It's been a bad run, but it's been a bad run against the absolute tops of the division. This is kind of a Marv, you got to pull up or shut up type of fight for him. You got to figure at this point. He's lost 4 of his last 5. And they all have moments at the very least of being very, very competitive. And frankly, they are all very, very competitive. He puts up 100 significant strikes in 3-round fights when he has to. I don't know. Everything about it kind of just points me towards Marv. But I also look at it and I go like, why is Marv only a pick'em in this fight? Like, am I just falling into the biggest trap here? Because Bruno Ferreira on the other side has always been kind of a guy who I've thought very, very undersized for 185 pounds. Explosive, everything like that. But I always kind of figured that this guy would be better suited if he could figure out his 5'10", 72-inch reach. Like, I figured that he could always probably do better in his career if he figured out a way to get down to 170 pounds. He's had a lot of nice finishes. Marv has historic durability. It's got to be Marv. It's got to be Marv. Is this where Marv's head actually falls off for the first time? If it is, then so be it. But if this fight turns into 15 minutes between the two of these guys, I've got to trust on that big old brick of a head that Marv's got to hang in there and then double him up on strikes. So it's Marv for me. What about you?
Yeah, well, actually, this is pretty much the exact same thing you're saying, right? Is that Bruno Ferreira is a guy that relies on moments, right? So when you look at his biggest wins, Gregor Rodriguez is starting to dog walk and then pow! Never saw that shot coming, knocks him out, first round. His fight with Dustin Stolfu, spinning back elbow, first round. Phil Hawes knocks him out, first round. Armen Petrosian is whipping his ass. Takes him down, gets the armbar. Right? If he can get a quick finish on you, he win. If not, you're gonna get outworked. And that's the greatest thing about Marvin Vittori is that one, outworking him, you can do it, but his last 4 fights, he's landed over 100 significant strikes on all of them. So he's not exactly gonna sit there and let it happen. But 2, if your whole game plan is like, yeah, he's outworking me, but don't worry, I'm gonna smash him with one and knock him out, or I'm gonna take him down and I'm gonna sub him. Nobody finishes the guy. He's got a cement head on him. It's cool that you got a spinning back elbow. Try to land one of those. That's your best shot. And as far as I'm concerned, this guy could probably take it because he's just got such a goddamn good chin. I think this is a good fight for him. When you look at Brendan Allen's 6'2", Roman Dolitz is 6'2". They're big guys. As you said with Bruno, he's the size of a welterweight. And I feel like now you've got Marvin Vittori as the bigger guy, going to be able to come forward, going to be able to let his hands go, going to start being able to rack up some damage, some volume. He's more of a decision guy, don't get me wrong, but I think he's just going to outwork him. The takedowns should be able to stuff them, keep the fight standing. If he does get taken down, scramble, get back up, and really cause Bruno Ferreira to start working. Bruno does not win by decision. Never won a decision in the UFC. In fact, I think 5. One was a contender series. 4 of his UFC fights are just done in the first round. Sorry, 5 of them. 5 of them done in the first round. More of a first round guy. The only time he's ever made it to the third round before was against Abus Magomedov, and he absolutely gassed and then got subbed in the third round. So not only is his win condition to knock you out and finish you, but he's got to do it quick. And now you're taking on a guy in Marvin Vittori that's never been finished. And if you were going to finish him, it doesn't seem like it would happen very quick. So, yeah, I just think it's like outwill and outlast. It's basically a game of survivor, and Marvin Vettori is one hell of a survivor. Now, let's just, for the sake of argument here, say let's flip their records. In Marvin's last couple fights, Marvin fights Jackson McVeigh and Armin Petrosian and Dustin Stolfus and Phil Hawes. But Marvin beats all of those guys. He would not be on a losing streak.
No.
Let's say Bruno fights Brandon Allen, Roman Dolidze, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker. He loses all of those fights. So I don't care that one guy's 1-4 in his last 5 and one guy's 4-1 in his last 5. It doesn't matter to me, man. I'm looking at body of work and level of competition. So last thing I will say, Marvin, they've done him no favors. After he lost to Jared Cannonier and he absorbed 241 significant strikes, loses, 5-round main event. He takes a full year off, like 16 months off. He comes back from a 16-month layoff to headlining in the Roman and another 5-rounder, and he loses. Now he's not won a fight in 2 years. He's lost his last 2 in a row, and let's give him Brandon Allen. What? They're all top 5 guys. They're all elite guys. Marvin is of that ilk. He's going to be a gatekeeper to the stars. And let me tell you something. Brandon Allen, Roman Dolidze, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker, those guys are what I consider to be the stars of the division. Yeah, Bruno ain't. So you ain't getting past this gate, buddy. And so Marvin Vettori. Because Marvin Vettori decisions everybody, I think I'm going to take a Marvin Vettori by decision. But Bruno's not really one to lose decisions. So if you're not getting a good number on that one, just stick with the money line, man.
If Marv was ever to get a finish,
this could be here.
This could be it. Like Marv, what's like Marv round 3?
Ooh, you get something picante on that. And by TKO. I don't think he'll even try his sub.
No, yeah, by KO round 3, you may get like 20-1 on that. I mean, not the worst idea. What is this?
I could see that materializing late. You're not wrong there, bud.
Thanks, bud. Plus 165. Yeah. Marv decisions plus 165. I don't know. I could see a late finish, but it all really comes down to like how desperate Bruno becomes. I suppose. Anyway, we got Edson Barbosa taking on Jalen Turner. Barbosa, plus 250 underdog to Turner, who I believe had retired. I haven't seen an interview with him or anything this week about him coming back, but we talked about it after his last fight, and he said he was going to retire. He's just like, I hope this guy kind of reconsiders because he's got a lot of talent. Well, the market's respecting his return back here. Minus 300 is definitely a steep price tag here. Where are you at with this fight?
Yeah, retired and then realized you can't make $100,000 that fast working out of Sam's Club, and so he's back, baby. He is absolutely back, and similar to remember Jimmy Crute retired, and then he came back. It was like, oh, he found his passion again. Then you watch it, he's like, no, he looks exactly like the Jimmy Crute I remember before the retirement. So I will die on this hill that Jalen Turner is either the most talented guy with the worst luck, but look at this run, man. Matus Gamrot, he drops him. He drops him hard. Matt, he loses a split decision. Dan Hooker is almost stiffed in the first round, but he comes back and he ends up losing a split decision. Splits to Gamrot and Dan Hooker, both guys that are, headlining cards and both guys that are continuously in this top 5 range and getting these big marquee fights. That's nothing to be ashamed of. He knocked down Gamrot. They say he didn't knock down Hooker, but he 100% did. That's tough go, man. Beats Bobby Green real quick, and then he runs into Moicano. You'll remember this one, UFC 300. He knocks Moicano down. He turns around, he walks away like he's Mark Hunt. Mm-hmm. Thing is, he's not Mark Hunt. And then the round ends, and then the second round starts. And in classic Turner fashion, I mean, he beats all of these guys in the first. The second and the third, he falls apart. This one never saw a third because Moicano took him down the second and put a beating on him. His last time out against Ignacio Bahamondes, there's no real excuse in that one. He ended up getting caught in the triangle choke in the first round. That's all she wrote. The thing I'm getting at is, in a different reality, he may have knocked out Gamrot, or maybe just even 2 of the judges gave it to him instead of 1. Hooker, in a different reality, he could have knocked him out, or 2 of the judges give it to him instead of 1. Moicano, in a different reality, he could have knocked out Moicano. Then we're looking at this guy completely different. he's the world's best first round guy. If the UFC
Terrance McKinney.
Give me Terrance McKinney versus Jalen Turner. Let's see what happens, right?
Different weight class. Or
155 pounds.
It's not different weight class. They should be different weight classes.
Well, yeah, because he's 6'3", 77 inch. And I want to say that that's actually the biggest thing to keep in mind with Jalen Turner is watch the weigh-ins. He's so big and he's getting older. These weight cuts are not getting easier. And I honestly, truly, in my heart believe, why is a guy that's beating up Dan Hooker and beating up Mateusz Gamrot and beating up Renato Moicano, how does he continuously blow it every time after the first round? Cardio. But why is the cardio so bad? Probably because he's cutting 35 pounds to make the 155-pound limit, 156-pound limit. Yeah, so it's not like he's coming back saying, hey, man, I'm going to go to 170 now, and I'm going to be at 170 pounds, and I've allowed my body 6 months to mature, and I've packed on some lean muscle, and we've ran some tests, and I've gone to the UFC PI, and they've checked my bone density and my muscle. Like, it's not as if he's done any of that. It's just, yeah, all right, I miss the sport, and I miss the thrill and the crowd and the noise and the music and the lights and the paycheck. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to give it a go. They're not really giving him an easy fight. They're giving him a very, very tenured guy in Edson Barbosa, who at this stage is done. I think we can all agree Edson's done. Edson's no more. But like that one thing that Edson might still have is that historically he's been able to take absolute devastating beatings in the first round and survive. That would be very dangerous to Jalen Turner, who's probably going to absolutely whip this man's ass. But if for whatever reason he doesn't put him away, you can see this unfolding the same way a bunch of Turner fights have unfolded, which is the longer it goes, he just finds ways to lose. Barbosa didn't look bad against Jakar Close. He outstruck him in a couple of these rounds.
I thought he looked lackadaisical. Like he could have won that fight. And he just looked kind of like disinterested almost. Like that was a really frustrating one for me because like I was pretty heavy on Edson in that spot. And like Drakkar wasn't really doing all that much. I mean, he actually beat him in significant strikes over the course of 15 minutes.
He struck him in the first and the third, but yeah he just
round 3 kind of started turning on a little bit, but he was just kind of like letting the fight come to him way too much. And that was just like annoying because I'm like, you're way better than this guy as a striker. And it's like he doesn't have that much power. So like it really seems it was really frustrating because it's like, what are you afraid of? Like, just stand in there and sling with this guy, Jakar barely even tried to wrestle, 0 for 2. So it was a very strange performance from Edson, which makes me like hesitant. But honestly, man, that plus 250, like it's dog or pass for me. Like I'm not betting guy who retired. Who knows how much Jalen Turner really? When was that retirement? When was that retirement? When did he get back into so it was after the Bahamondes fight in March.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened? He went through he probably had fun for the entire summer, right? And then September, he's just like, I ain't got shit going on. Maybe I should call the UFC and be like, I'm retired. So who knows like what type of shape? Weigh-ins obviously a big thing for him. And I'll try to check out to see if there's any sort of interviews with Jalen Turner to see if you can kind of get an idea there. But at plus 250, like I'm not afraid to be wrong here.
Yeah, that's fair. The reason I ended up locking in Turner is more so you're right. His last fight against Jakar, he goes through the motions. The fight before that, Lerone Murphy's the man, but he's kind of just sitting there getting punched up. The fight before that, we hit a PRP on this card. He fought Sodiq Yusuff.
Yep.
He got 10-8'd in the first round, man. It was pretty bad beating. His fight with Giga Chikadze beats him up every beats him to every punch and eventually puts him out in the third round. I don't think Jalen Turner makes it to the third round, but he's big, he's strong, he's got more than enough power. Edson's 39 years old. Edson 2 is a career 145-pounder that's coming up to 155 in these twilight years of his career, but you're a former featherweight, longtime featherweight, now taking on the biggest lightweight in the division. And then you talk about Henry Cejudo in the R word. Edson has promised his family that retirement is on the horizon.
On the horizon. That's just what he says in the media. So his wife leaves him alone.
That's what he told me. Yeah, that's right.
It's on the horizon. That's not saying like this is the last fight.
No, he's doing what Frank Mir did, where it's like, listen, I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. If I lose this, I'm gonna get released, and I'm not gonna fight. So
Yeah.
it'll be over for me. And then he wins. He knocked out, I think it was Todd Duffy, knocked out Todd Duffy, and then he looked at the camera and he's like, "Baby, I told you I could still make money doing this." It's like, oh no, Frank, this is a great way to walk out on top, man.
Yeah, Edson's spinning wheel kick, and then he's gonna be fighting long into his 40s.
You'd have to throw that kick so high.
You can do it.
Oh, you're right. If anybody can
There's
do
only
it.
a 2-inch reach disparity between the two of these guys. But like that leg reach, which is not calculated, has to be like astronomical. Because Jalen Turner is all legs. The guy is very, very
tarantula, long. Right? I mean,
the tarantula
name.
I like Turner. I mean, it's an absolute banger fight, specifically to be like buried this deep down the card. Interesting. Very
that's
interesting.
why I love this card. The other ones, they're contender series type matchups. But if Edson Barboza, Jalen Turner was the co-main event on an Apex Fight Night, or even in Iowa, I'm in. Vittori, talking about this guy's headlined like 6 times with the UFC. He's fought Israel Adesanya twice. Faraz Aham versus Nazim Sadykhov, they're both good prospects.
McKinney versus
Barber,
Duncan.
did I mention the fakies? Yeah, McKinney Duncan's got explosiveness. Apparently McKinney doesn't win bonuses though, so you can't say he's got like a bonus written on it. But you know what I'm saying? It's a great fight. Dawson's on this big winning streak, 11-1 in the UFC. Jan Blachowicz, former champion. Henry Cejudo, former champion. Brendan Moreno, former champion. This is the rags to the riches, but all the way down on the prelims, you got to Edson Barboza, Jalen Turner. Yeah, this is the reason why you tune in early, because this card's kind of got everything. We'll talk about these other ones, but even this next one, Iwo versus Ibo. Take my money, Paul. I'm in on this.
Yep. Iwo is a -190 favorite to come back on Ibo. +165. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I know we spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on this narrative nation thing, and this guy said this, and this guy did this, and this guy we're speculating could do this, but this Iwo Baraniewski, right? Didn't know a ton about him. He seems to be a first-round finisher. As an amateur, I think he was 17-3 as an amateur, so tons of experience in the unpaid ranks. But since he's turned pro, it's all just first-round finishes. Now he's fighting Muhammad Ali on the Contender Series. And Muhammad Ali is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion.
Not the greatest.
Turns out. Yeah, no, you're right. He's not that Muhammad Ali. And didn't end up working out well. But I had faith that Baraniewski's a first-round finisher. Muhammad Ali, much better ground game. Take him down. They played the pre-fight video package. And I knew I was screwed before those little doors even opened up and he come walking out. This guy's powerful, man. He's very, very aggressive. He's got huge power. He can finish you in the first round, but he's also got a lot of experience from the amateur ranks that I think he is comfortable going a few rounds. These Polish guys, listen, they're not all going to be great. We saw one a couple weeks ago in that Denzel Freeman fight. That guy wasn't too good. But for the most part, these Polish fighters are very physically strong. They're very durable, and they do have sneaky good ground games. I feel like Baraniewski is capable of knocking you out. He's capable of taking you some deeper waters. And a prospect that I actually find myself feeling pretty good about. I think this guy could actually go out there and be good. Ibo's kind of the exact opposite. When he came to the UFC via Contender Series, it looked like he was going to be one of these tall Turkish power punchers and go out there, land the big KO. He's training at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. He's working with Sean Strickland. He's working with a lot of guys. All sounded good. His fight with Anton Turkalj gets a 3rd-round knockout. This is great. Can knock you out in the 1st, can knock you out in the 3rd. Knocks out Rafael Sakaria. That don't count for much, but that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm not going to fault him for the Ion Kudalaba fight, right? Because you and I broke that one down. Ion had too much grappling for him. We figured that would be an angle. And turns out that this guy can't grapple. But that's fine. He's a stand and bang guy, and that's what he's good at. And then we run into this last fight with Billy Alakana. Did I mention Kash Patel and the FBI? Investigate this fight. Ibo didn't do anything.
Nobody did anything in that fight.
It was so frustrating to watch because you're right. Billy does the bare minimum, and the bare minimum was more than enough to just outpoint Ibo in all 3 rounds. Ibo landed, let me get this. It's not 39, it'd be even lower. 35. He landed 35% of his significant strikes. His total strikes, he went 29 of 80. He just whiffed at air. He didn't commit to his punches. He didn't try to step in. He didn't try to do anything. Now people can make the argument there. Well, Billy Alakana is 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. That's not the problem. The problem is he knows he's losing. He knows he's getting outworked. He knows, and at no point is it like, I think I got to bite down on my mouthpiece and step into the pocket. I think I got to cut the ring off a little bit. I think I got to commit to maybe putting a left hook behind this overhand right. Nope. Here's a guy that lost his last fight with Ion Kudala, but seems so petrified of getting taken down that he's standing far away. Doesn't want to come forward. Doesn't want to let his hands go. Looks extremely pedestrian the entire time. If you told me he threw the fight, I would completely believe you because there is zero sense of urgency, even though he's clearly losing. Billy doesn't do nothing and still outpoints him. So when I think about Iwo, it's like, listen, if you want to sit back and let things unfold, he's going to make it happen. If you want to go punch for punch, I just think like he was a better striker. He's a little bit smaller. He's giving up a little bit of height. He's giving up a little bit of reach, but he's going to be the one coming forward and making you uncomfortable. And I feel like Aslan doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't deal well with pressure. And therefore, I'd take an Iwo over Ibo. Someone's O has got to go to the canvas, and it's going to be Ibo hitting the deck after he gets clunked by an Iwo Baraniewski. Straight right, left hook. I don't care, man. Just put some hands on this guy and make him second guess himself. So I will take Iwo to get the win.
Yeah, give me the guy who's actually going out there trying to finish fights and has multiple paths. He's got a bunch of subs on his record in regional level competition as well. Now they're against like schmucks like Semi Dos Santos. Like I've taped that Semi Dos Santos guy. Like Ibo would run through Semi Dos Santos. So it is definitely a lower level of competition for some of those fights that you got first round finishes in. But yeah, Ibo, the ones that had the stats up there for Ibo versus Elokana, and the one stat that they were missing was 15. For minutes of my life, I will never get back after watching that absolute trash. It was garbage. Hot garbage. Give me Iwo.
He's a big favorite in the fight too. It's like when you talk about fixes, here's a 3-1 favorite, 4-1 favorite, and he's not even trying to win the fight. How do you know this? Because in order to win a fight,
Middle East.
you got to actually hit the opponent in order to win a fight. He's not even trying to hit him. So yeah, the guy's absolutely dead to me.
There was a bunch of actually, if we're gonna put our tinfoil hats on, the way that the amount of death that they were wishing on Muhammad Yahya against Steve Nguyen there looked kind of sketchy.
Oh, that was
because it's just like this. You know, you look at the stats now. Well, it's just like 6 knockdowns. Who the hell is allowed to recover from 6 knockdowns? Like Yaya's corner should have thrown the towel in. The fact that it got through 2 rounds, and then they called it after round 2. Well, that was questionable. Like I would like to see the price action on that 1.5. That over 1.5. I would like to see what happened there. Was there any sort of
there was a big jump? I think you can look it up. You're good at looking up those like historical lines, but there was a big jump up on the over 1.5.
Gotta be.
And then Jason Herzog got accused
allegedly.
Okay, allegedly. So this is a great one. So Jason Herzog allegedly. And the whole thing goes down with Isaac Dalgarian, and the next day there's rumors the FBI is looking into, and there's rumors that they've got a list, and there's rumors Jason Herzog has an involvement allegedly. Okay, Jason Herzog hasn't reffed a fight since that. It's been a month. It's been over a month.
Apparently he's on vacation, allegedly.
Allegedly vacation.
And he takes vacation at this time, allegedly. But
no, allegedly he's been hanging out on an island, Rikers Island, but all the same, allegedly he's a good guy.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah,
he was an island. Yeah. A big one. All right. Yeah, we'll go. That was just all, there's nothing there. It's nothing there. No, don't take us seriously. I got my hat on backwards. We're just a couple guys just having some fun on this podcast. We don't have any money, so you can't sue us. We got Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Antonio Tricoli. Malik, a minus 1,000 favorite. Minus 1,200 favorite, the biggest favorite on the card by a long shot. Tricoli plus 750. Is there really anything here, or is Malik just absolutely rolled this guy up.
Yeah, well, like Malik absolutely rolls this guy, but it's not because he's good. I don't know. I'm starting to think he's not good at all. Like I liked when he came to the UFC initially. He's got a D1 wrestling background. He's a former state champion out of Maryland. Trains a little bit at MMA Masters. On the Contender Series, his fight with Wes Schultz, it's a really fun fight, man. Wes Schultz wrestled in college as well. They go back and forth. Eventually, he tires Wes Schultz out. He gets the TKO. He gets the contract. Him versus Dusko Todorovic. Dusko's got issues, but he exposes those exact issues, knocks him on the first round. I rock with that. His fight with Nick Klein. Nick Klein's a gas bag, but goes really hard till he gasses. Malik minds his P's and Q's, gets him to that second round, puts him out. Great start. Last time with Cody Brundage, there's a strong possibility he lost the first 2 rounds to Cody Brundage. He's not throwing any punches. He's not trying to wrestle. He's like content just standing there doing nothing. Now, the difference between him and Ibo is going into the 3rd round, knowing, oh man, I may be losing this. His corner's like, you got to go for it. And in the 3rd round, he did. He absolutely did. In going for it, he headbutts Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage is the biggest bitch ass. You know, the second that there's a foul, that he's going to be not able to continue. You know that. So this is the same thing. They initially gave it a TKO for Malik. Brundage appeals it because he appeals everything, of course, and they roll it back to a no contest. So technically, he should have won. Technically, it's not a bad look. It's a no contest, but no, it was a really very, very bad performance. Now, they clearly like the kid because they're giving him the Antonio Tricoli treatment and they want to get him back in the win column. They're not giving him a Cody Brundage, fringe 50 guy that apparently can give you trouble. They're giving you someone you should be able to not only beat, but should look good against. And against Tricoli, he seemingly has an advantage everywhere. He's a much better wrestler. He's a better physical specimen, a lot more power, more than enough power, I think, to knock him out. Tricoli's won 1 fight in the last 6 years. He has 1 win in MMA in the last 6 years. Does not fight often. He's not young. He's not a prospect. He's apparently a BJJ black belt. And then his last fight against Tresean Gore, he got standing guillotine choked in less than 90 seconds. So what exactly does this guy do? Nothing. He's not good. So yes, of course, Mansour Abdul-Malik is going to beat him. Not only that, they tried to run the fight back in February. Tricoli pulls out. They wait like 10 months. They're like, oh, you're good to go? Great. Same guy. Get back in there. And then he'll get cut after this. Mm-hmm. The only angle I can think of is, of course, Malik by TKO, but you're not going to get a good price on that. I almost feel like taking the over 1.5. 1, you know me, I love over 1.5. But 2, Malik just stood and stared at Cody Brundage for the better part of going into a 3rd round. Like, yes, he can knock you out fast, but sometimes he really doesn't have a sense of urgency. And Antonio Tricoli, I don't know, he went to the 3rd round with Shara Magomedov. So
I don't hate that.
If Malik's not going to take him down and Malik's not going to sub him, then he's going to rely on TKOing him. And maybe Tricoli's just able to last the 1.5. Outside of that, he's never been finished in under 1.5. He's lost a retirement after the 2nd and a couple decisions way back in the day. He's been subbed by Tresean Gore. That's an under. But again, I'm not really entirely sure that Abdul-Malik is going to be trying to sub him. I'm trying to
the 3rd round against Shara Magomedov. But like on the other side, you'd be like, Shara Magomedov really doesn't finish that many people.
Well, he's also got
unless he lands like an absolute perfect shot like he did against Armen Petrosian. But outside of that, he's such a decision machine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe a pass is good altogether.
No, I think the over 1.5 plus 175 is I think that's a good play.
Well, I obviously like that better than a minus 1,200 money line, and then the Malik by TKO money line again. It's not enough for me. So I kind of went with that over 1.5 for better for worse. We'll see what happens, Paul.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Finally, we got Muhammad Naimov taking on Myron Santos. Santos is a minus 250-ish favorite. Come back on Naimov plus 210. Your thoughts?
Myron Santos, I love the kid. You know that. He wins the Ultimate Fighter. I really like him. I think he's going to be a really solid prospect. He's only 25 years old. He's not super tall, but he's like dense. He's dense for the weight class. On the Contender Series, he beat Edwin Cooper Jr., who I thought was probably the tournament favorite. He beat Guillermo Torres, who's was like a high-quality wrestler. Beats Kant Khan awfully. He's not good, but I mean, absolutely sparks him. all good stuff. And then, of course, that Francis Marshall fight. Now, the internet cried robbery, and Francis Marshall should have won, but really, it's Francis Marshall hugging onto his leg up against the cage, trying to hold on to him, and Santos is the one doing the damage. Santos is the one making him work. Santos is the one that I thought was trying to fight, and so when they gave him the split decision, I profited from it, but I did feel like he was the rightful winner. No doubt about it, though, it wasn't a great performance. Then he decides he's going to move up to 155 pounds and fight Sodiq Yusuff. Now, Sodiq Yusuff is not really a 55er himself. He's also a 45er. But not having to cut the weight, Maron Santos looked awesome. And now he's cutting back down to 145. So I do want to watch the weigh-ins. I do want to kind of see what he looks on the scales. He's got to look like he's got energy. Has he been able to dial it in? He'd spent a lot of time in Extreme Couture and just looked okay. And then he went down to Fighting Nerds for that Sodiq Yusuff camp and looked a lot better as far as I'm concerned. Striking looks good. Mobility looks good. Takedown defense, everything was kind of on point. And so against Muhammad Naimov is very physically strong. He's a Tajik fighter. It's what they do. And he is capable of grabbing these takedowns, holding you up against the cage, out-muscling you. But I honestly think that Santos is he is strong. And I don't think that holding him up against the cage or holding him onto the canvas is going to be the easiest thing to do. As far as the striking goes, Naimov's very, very low volume. And so if Santos can stuff a few takedowns, we're going to win these striking exchanges in 2 of the 3 rounds, take this decision victory home with us. Naimov cheated a lot of times against Nathaniel Wood. Eric Silva injures his leg right away. Felipe Lima, he gave Felipe Lima a pretty decent go, but he tires because everything he's doing, he's out muscling you. He's over muscling you. And then his last 2 fights against Con Offley and Bogdan Grad, one, Offley's not that good. He went to decision with him. It's the Bogdan Grad fight. Grad's out grappling him. Grad's landing some decent shots. Naimov won a unanimous decision, but it wasn't the easiest fight for him. And I feel like Santos in many ways is just a lot physically stronger, better takedown defense than a guy like Bogdan Grad. Going to keep this fight standing, going to use that jab, and going to snipe away at distance. I like it's the first fight because I could potentially move some things around in the event that I don't get it right. But at 16-1 and training with the Fighting Nerds now, this kid's going to keep getting better and better. Again, he's only 25 years old, so it's easy to look back and say, oh, well, he looked bad against Francis Marshall. Yeah, it's his second fight in the UFC. Big deal, Once he gets a little more experience, he gets a little more comfortable, starts to find himself a little bit, he is well-rounded. He's got skills everywhere, and I do believe he's a better fighter than Naimov. So I don't love this one because he's green and he could still get exposed in certain areas, but Naimov's a tad bit too one-dimensional and too low volume. So once Santos can stuff those takedowns and take that dimension away from him, then we can start to expose the low volume. Just outwork this guy. Win a 29-28 if you have to, but get the decision.
Yeah, I was just gonna look up MMA decisions. I will, full disclosure. I did not tape Naimov versus Grad before we came in and did this show. But like the stats, 5 minutes of control time for Grad versus like 2 minutes for Naimov, 31-18 in significant strikes, takedowns 3-1.
Yeah, I had money on Grad in that fight, and I wasn't upset when we didn't.
It was
win.
in Azerbaijan, so I expect there to be something completely egregious. But I'm looking up on like MMA decisions. No, everyone had 29-28.
Yeah, I wasn't. There
was only like 7 or 8 people on of media scorecards that did it. All right, well, it wasn't necessarily a robbery, but like, yeah, both guys super, super low volume. I think Santos is a much better striker. It's going to come down to the takedowns, and like Marshall was able to get 3 takedowns, but was not able to. He got like 2 minutes of control time over the course of 15 minutes. Like, it wasn't enough, obviously. In hindsight, people are going to disagree with the decision, but people call it the robbery of the year. I don't know if you can go as far as to say that. In fairness, Santos thought that he actually lost that fight, but he got the nod. I expect him to do better in this fight. Stave off those takedown attempts from Naimov. He's a much better striker than Naimov. I'm not going to be making him a priority this week at -250, though. He will be my pick. I'm sure he'll work his way into some sort of action. Maybe a Santos by decision, which is like plus like is pretty much even money. Maybe that's how I get to this fight. That's how I feel this fight plays out. 9 months pretty tough to get out of there, and Myron really hasn't shown us too much finishing ability and doesn't really press the issue all that often. So yeah, Myron Santos by decision. All right, Cody, we are just about out of time, but before we go, hit him with the PRP.
We are going with Merab, the Machine Dvalishvili. Josh Van, all the way at the bottom. I get it. Laugh at me. I get it. I need a little value here and there. We're going to go with Brandon Moreno, slight underdog. Technically, that'll be dog number 2. We're going to go with Payton Talbott, Jan Blachowicz, Grant Dawson, Chris Duncan, Karine Silva, dog number 3. Like, we talked out of that one, but mostly talked out of it because of the fakies. The fakies, once you see them, you start getting all discombobulated. You get yourself on a Maycee Barber bet that you didn't actually mean to make. For Ziam, we're going to go with Marvin Vettori. I actually like this week, despite his recent turmoil. Jalen Turner, Iwo Baraniewski, Mansour Abdul-Malik. You can get that over 1.5 if you want to chase some plus money. And yeah, Marin Santos. Marin Santos at Fighting Nerds. I think it's going to make a big difference, hopefully. But yeah, last thing I'll leave you with, you're right. He did actually say afterwards he thought he lost that fight to Francis Marshall. But I cornered a guy one time who ended up winning a split decision. And as they read it, he looked at the guy and he's like, bro, you won that fight, man. I don't know why they gave it to me. And as they're walking in the back, I told him, like, why'd you say that? Like, I sat there and watched the whole fight from cage side. I thought you won. He goes, I felt I lost. And then we watched the fight back the next day. And he says, I don't know what I was thinking. I won that fight for sure. It's like, yeah, sometimes that's how you feel in the moment. Mm-hmm. And he outstruck Francis Marshall in all 3 rounds. 18-16 in the first, 19-8 in the second. That's a double up. 21-15 in the third. If you look at the total strikes, he doubled them up 41-20 in round 3. He doubled them up 19-8 in round 2. In the first round, the total strikes actually did go to Francis Marshall. The significance were to Santos. The significant strikes, he outstruck him 58-39. The total's 78-64. I don't care that you got a takedown, and as you're holding on to the leg, this guy's punching you in the head, and this guy's elbowing you in the head, and you're still holding on, 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 and then people want to say robbery of the century. Get out of here, man. Well, they didn't say century. They said robbery of the year.
No, what all that told me is that a lot of MMA gamblers lost money on Francis Marshall that week, because that's how it goes on the social media.
This is a very allegedly, because
win or rigged.
I really like this guy. I really like this guy a lot, and I consider him the best. And this is so very much allegedly. I feel bad even saying it, but you can tell when John Anik has got money on a guy, even though he's not allowed to bet, is that he will not ever say the opponent's name once. After every round, that was a huge round for him. At the end of it is, well, this should be pretty straightforward. And then once the guy loses a super contentious, really close split decision, he'll berate the judges and berate the system about, I can't believe. And so when you listen to this, that's what you start to feel. The commentators are talking about one guy. One commentator saying this is very clearly Francis Marshall. Career best performance from Francis Marshall, who figures to pick up a real big win. We'll be back after the break. Let's see how the judges get this one. Probably not much, too. That Francis Marshall's going to win this one. Well, then now when Francis doesn't win, you think, whoa, I barely paid attention to that fight. The parts that I was paying attention to, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. And yeah, and then sure enough, you're upset with the decision. So
are you trying to send poor John Anik to Rikers Island with your boy Jason Herzog, who's allegedly there?
John Anik, my boy, but we all know if it came down to it, he'd have been like, it was Jason Anik that placed those bets. And then the twin brother would take the fall.
Or whatever their mom's name or their dad's name or whatever.
Yeah, he's been vocal. He doesn't want to, he wants to get out of MMA, and he doesn't have enough time, and he wants to separate. And there's a lot of weird moving parts going on. Like, I didn't know any of the Steve Will Do It stuff until like yesterday. And then Steve Will Do It bought Isaac Dulgarian.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I didn't quite see any.
And he was like the first, and Dulgarian was like the first sponsored fighter by Steve Will Do It.
So here's how it hit my radar. I don't watch Brandon Schaub, so I didn't see this either.
I saw that a long time ago, like literally the day after.
people were talking about it. It didn't really
I
hit
saw
my
it on
radar.
Twitter. Like
There
you
was a
searched
lot of
it and you
stuff.
saw the house.
There was a lot of stuff going on and really hit my radar of like, oh, so then Brendan Schaub makes a comment. Oh yeah, you bought him this house. And then according to Schaub, Steve Will Do It owes millions of dollars to the casinos. And I believe this because not that I follow him, but I must have clicked on videos in the past. He's in my algorithm all the time. And my algorithm is him losing a bunch of money at a blackjack table. And it's him and Dana White losing money at a table. And it's him at this casino losing money. And it's him trying to get this little rug pull scam going because he lost a bunch of money. I think the guy is very clearly has a gambling problem and is probably pissing away large amounts of money. He does a video rebuttal to Brendan Schaub where he says, yeah, I owe the Foxwoods 1.6 million. Yeah, I owe these guys money, but I have so much money that these are very small debts. It's not unusual. It's not unusual. Oh, yeah, and I did buy Isaac Dalgarian a house. We wanted to sponsor him. Our plan was we were going to sponsor him and we wanted to bet money on him, but he was too big of a favorite every time he fought. So we had to decide to go in a different direction. So he's saying is we're going to bet on him, but he's a big favorite every time. Now I owe a bunch of books, a bunch of money. I'm millions of dollars in debt with these books. I have a guy here who's poor, who I bought a house for, whose athletic career is winding down, not because he's getting old, but because
went in a different direction.
Yeah, this guy's he's getting out of the game clearly, and he owes me a favor. And if that's not weird enough, he's doing this video and he says Brendan Schaub's a loser. Brendan Schaub doesn't even have a UFC title. I have a UFC title, and he slaps his title he's got sitting on the couch. It's a real UFC title. So I do some digging into that. Whose UFC title is it? Well, Errol Hawani has Sean O'Malley on the show, and he says, why did you give Steve Will Do It your UFC title after you beat Aljamain Sterling? The only one you ever got. You gave it away. Why would you do that? And you can see Sean right away. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I don't talk to Steve anymore, but there was a period in my career where Steve did a lot for me and he bought me a lot of stuff. And I just felt when I won that title that it was a nice thing to give to him for everything that he had bought me in the past. And I don't know where the title is. I hope Steve's doing well. I hope the belt is put somewhere that he'll be able to respect it and look at it and get motivation. And, I don't regret giving it to him, but if the belt ends up on eBay, then yes, I regret giving Steve the belt. So Steve's just giving UFC fighters, he's gifting them houses and cars and money, and he's got a crippling gambling addiction as well. Okay, yeah, Dalgarian threw that fight for sure, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but I don't think the FBI cares.
Well, I don't know if Steve Will Do It had anything to do. I don't know if there's no guarantee that he had anything to do with it.
As much as
there are a lot of
I knows a guy.
There are a lot of factors, but it could just be any other type of person who approached. I kind of looked at that as like, well, he's willing to take a house from this guy on the internet. It's just like he's a certain type of character. There's plenty of people who are like dirt poor out there that like you would try to give them any sort of like, here's a little extra money, here's a little bit of this or that. And because they have so much pride, they would never, ever accept anything. There's probably a ton of fighters like that. And then there's probably fighters that are just like, oh, okay, how much do you want to give me for that?
Yeah, listen, I think there's a lot of guys like Thembo Garimbo that would take the house and then sell it the next day because he's a scumbag. But I just looked this up, right? There's 857 active UFC fighters on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you judge which one you're giving the house to, right? How did Isaac Dalgarian end up getting a house when of the 857, 800 of them are financially in ruin right now, and only 57 of them are actually making money? Because you understand how payout structures work in the UFC, Paul. There's a lot of desperate guys that would love to do it. People are thinking, he bought him a house, and it is a nice house, but it's a nice house in like Kansas City or something. It may have only cost couple $100,000, which is nothing to sneeze at, but it's not like he bought him $1 million mansion and in Beverly Hills or something. It's nothing like that. He bought him a middle-class home in the suburbs of Kansas.
Hey, you target these kids when they're younger for sure. Like if you approach Davy freaking Grant, right? You approach Davy Grant about this, He'd be like, I'm almost 40 years old. Like the last thing in the world that he would probably want right now is like his legacy, his history tarnished by anything like this.
Yeah, also a guy like Davy Grant, it's like
I don't know Davey whatsoever, but like that seems like a guy that I guarantee, like if he was approached, would just like be like, no, I'm gonna go out there and give 100% effort, and if I win, great. If I lose, it is what it is.
yeah, there's definitely guys that are still a strong character, and I would say Davy Grant one of them too. I don't know. I kind of think that there's a lot of the guys that you could approach, and this is how it would be. Let's say Davy Grant was down to do it. You'd say, okay, Davy, we're going to bet against you in one of your fights. Davy's always the underdog in his fights. And if for whatever reason he was the favorite, it would be like slight favorite.
Yeah.
What he's saying with Bulgarian is we can't make money on him. He's a minus 400. He's a minus 500. It's a big favorite. It's really easy to make money against him because he's always a big favorite. Ibo Aslan. Ibo Aslan's from Turkey. He comes to Vegas. He's won a few fights. His life's not taken off. He's got a mortgage payment. He's got to get some injections in his shoulder because it's sore. His wife back home is saying, hey. He's a 3-1 favorite over a guy like Billy Alakana. And
that's not how you would rig a fight, though. Like you just
like
going
anybody ever
35 to 20, going 35 to 28 in significant strikes in Aslan versus Billy Alak. That's not how you would rig a fight, though. Like that is just leaving it in the hands of the judges. And if people have crazy amounts of money, how you rig the fight is exactly what Bulgarian did, which is just go out there, do a half-ass takedown attempt, get reversed, have your back taken, get your ass choked out. It is over. It is finished. Getting submitted is the best way because one, you don't have to go to the hospital because you didn't get a concussion. Two, it's a guaranteed way to lose a fight. Like getting submitted is the optimal path to victory if you're trying to rig it.
Yeah, you're right. So he says, I'm going to Ibo, let's just say.
And the sub price is paid
this is how MMA is in a nutshell. Ibo's like, okay, I'm going to throw this thing. So Billy outlands him in the first because they both do nothing. Billy outlands him in the second.
10-8,
Billy outlands him in the third. Okay. Mark Collette, 30-27. Andrews Olsen, 30-27. Ben Cartlidge still gave Ibo a round. How? I don't know.
10-8. It was 10-8 in significant, 10-8. Alakana, 10-8. Alakana, 15-12. It's like there's literally so little happening that like maybe there was one punch that Ben Cartlidge was just like that was by far the most significant punch of the round. And not much happened. So it's like that's why I'm saying, like, play it that way. If you were ever going to rig a fight, that's not how you would rig a fight. That's how you would rig an over. That's definitely how you'd rig an over. Be like, hey, boys, just make it a very modified sparring session out there. Yeah, anyway, there will be plenty of
the way you rig an over is you have allegedly Jason Herzog allow a guy to get knocked out 6 times. Come on, man. Work me over 1.5. Fix me over 1.5, dog. Saturday night. Let's go, Paul Shaughnessy.
I wonder if Herzog will be back. We will see on Saturday night. Anyway, that is it for us this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. For Cody, I'm Paul saying goodbye and good luck.